Swallowed Star 542 Blade World. Chapter 542 Blade World. Translator, Translation Nation Editor, Translation Nation. Luofeng's Nest, Star Fragment 803898081. It had a diameter of 6,200 kilometers. This star fragment was floating in space, and on it was a huge villa that took up most of the space, with universe-level soldiers patrolling about. Suddenly, they spotted a universe ship slowly descending. They became shocked and immediately informed their leader Ao Duo. "General, there's a ship. A ship has come." A silhouette appeared within the villa. It was the bald old man Ao Duo. He looked up at the universe ship. From one look, his expression changed. "The mark of Tianshi Palace? It's actually AF-grade universe ship. Follow me." Ao Duo brought the 10 guards with him in beams of lights, swiftly flying over. In the distance, that ship descended, landing on the wild grass and flowers. The ship is from Tianshi Palace. It should be His Majesty returning, but why haven't they opened the cabin door after so long? Ao Duo brought the guards and stood beside the ship waiting at attention. The ship stopped for quite a while before the cabin door opened and landed on the ground. A huge warrior with a huge axe on his back came out, coldly gazing at Ao Duo and the group. The formless pressure fiercely landed on Ao Duo and the group's souls. "Greetings, Undying." Ao Duo bowed in shock. "Greetings, Undying." The group of guards too were shocked. "Luofeng is studying now. We cannot disrupt him in this critical time." The warrior said coldly, "Our Tianshi Palace ship will be stationed here until he awakens. You all cannot disturb him either." "Yes." Ao Duo and the group bowed, simultaneously feeling shocked. My God, this pressure that he released before them had ripples of origin laws all around. Obviously, this was a powerful Undying, and Luofeng was actually able to have an Undying wait here without disturbing him. This was too absurd. Luofeng was after all an absolute beginning member. His position should still be slightly lower than that of an Undying in Tianshi Palace. Hua! The cabin door closed and Ao Duo and the group could only wait outside. 1 hour, 2 hours. 1 day, 2 days. Why hasn't His Majesty awoken yet? Right, we've been waiting here for quite some time. General, if His Majesty continues his study, should we still wait here stupidly? From what I see, we should return first. Shut up, Ao Duo ordered softly. His gaze swept at the guards that had been standing there for 18 days waiting, and said coldly, "You are all at universe levels and domain lords. How is this long? Even I'm not complaining, even the Undying from Tianshi Palace is waiting, not daring to disrupt his training. And you dare complain? Humph." The muttering guards all immediately went silent. Humph. Be silent and wait. If His Majesty awakens and we are not there to welcome him, that would be our failure. Ao Duo ordered. Yes, General. The group of guards obediently complied. Within the ship's control room, Luofeng sat crossed-legged on the metal ground, not moving. In his mind, many scenes floated in and out. The 9 black fireballs shown to him before by the powerful Tianshi Palace leader replayed over and over in his mind. Many techniques from the second volume of Time-Space Scribbles, too, came into play. Many areas that were obscure before were being solved. 9 Universe Tablet, Time-Space Scribbles, Floating Blood Manual, 9 Black Fireballs, the Ancient Pictures, the Beast God statue. They all corresponded with each other. Plus the fact that he had already comprehended the previous 35 wonders, and a lot of the 36th, with all these working together, many questions he had initially were being solved. His comprehension began to rise and Luofeng couldn't help but smile. Unknowingly, Luofeng had completely comprehended the 36th wonder, because the 9 black fireballs kept replaying in his head, displaying the entire space laws over and over. He couldn't help but continue studying and move on to the 9 Universe Tablet's third picture. The rainstorm. Many questions began to form in his head, many hard-to-solve questions. Luofeng combined the 9 black fireballs, the ancient pictures, and compared notes, attacking each difficult question one at a time, using all his focus to solve one question after another. That's it. Luofeng, who was sitting crossed-legged, opened his eyes. Any more and my efficiency will decrease. The best way to study the 9 Universe Tablet is still the time-space scribbles. I currently only have 2 volumes and not the third. Luo Feng could clearly feel that without the time-space scribbles to tally with, his studying efficiency would have a drastic drop. Time-space scribbles were written by the founder of the Nine Universe tablet. It is extremely valuable, and at the same time, it is the optimum way to study the Nine Universe tablet. Hua! The control room cabin door opened and Luo Feng turned to look out. The huge warrior with the huge axe on his back walked in. He glanced at Luo Feng. Since you've awoken, you can leave now. Thank you, Undying. Luo Feng bowed. This was the leader's command. No need to thank me. The huge warrior didn't say anything more. Luo Feng bowed and swiftly followed the pathway straight out of the cabin door. Greetings, Your Majesty. Ao Duo and the group of guards all bowed as they saw Luo Feng walk out. It had been over 30 days since they waited. Luo Feng jumped down and landed on the grass, simultaneously nodding as he smiled. I've kept you all waiting, let's go. Yes. Ao Duo and the rest respectfully followed. On this star fragment continent, Luo Feng quickly returned to his living quarters. He couldn't wait and immediately entered the Virtual Universe network. Virtual Universe, Yuxiang Mountain Absolute, beginning region, Villa 1136. Luo Feng came to his training grounds. The Tianshi Palace leaders' help this time has saved me at least 2 to 3 years' worth of work, and the display of the 9 black fireballs has shed some light on my later study of the rainstorm picture. Luo Feng recalled the scene back in Tianshi Palace. He couldn't help but be speechless at the 9 black fireballs. The universe space was very steady. Even with a star's high temperature, it wouldn't affect the space at all. However, the black fireballs burning in the space actually messed up the flow of space itself. Its strong gravity caused the space to warp. Luo Feng guessed that even a powerful Undying, if burned by the black fireballs, would be burnt to death.
Make light work of something heavy. I shouldn't think so far ahead now, I can't even make 1 star yet. Luo Feng shook his head, after which he cleared his mind and with a thought, the dark golden long rod appeared on his back. I've already completely comprehended the 36 wonders, I don't know whether I can unleash the 6th level though. Nanshin armament had a total of 9 levels. The 5th space slicer, the 6th own world. From the 5th to the 6th, it was one of the 2 hardest breakthroughs of the 9 levels. 80 years. Over 80 years of hard work, Luo Feng's comprehension had risen greatly. Compared to 80 years ago it was absurd, however he was still unable to unleash the 6th level. Nanshen armament, come out. Luo Feng ordered. Hua! Countless gold lights shot out from the dark golden long rod behind him. In an instant, the gold glaring lights of little golden blades shot out. Gold engravings on the little blades formed gold threads and countless lights moved in the surrounding space, triggering the space laws. Gold laws, and the alloy ground of the training grounds completely vanished into the light. A vast world made of blade energy revolved around. This move could change the land and skies. It was the Nanshin armament's 6th level, own world. Luo Feng frowned. His face was flushed red as his consciousness spirit energy madly controlled the blade world's foundation. The 5,832 little golden blades. No. Control. Luo Feng couldn't help but roar. Rumble. The formed blade world maintained itself for about 3 to 4 seconds, and after which it shook and crumbled with a crash. The blur of 5,832 little golden blades remained floating in the surroundings, however the blade world was broken. It actually crumbled in a few seconds. Luo Feng smiled and shook his head. It's still okay, this was the first time I actually formed the blade world. After so many years, this is the first time I successfully formed a complete blade world. Since I can form it, the next step should come quickly. Breaking through every level was extremely hard. Just like the Nanshin armament's 1st level, simply forming 1 golden blade. The second piercing sky actually required 9 blades into 1. Why was the difference so huge? Over 80 years. Luo Feng had been constantly improving from the 5th level space slicer. His improvement speed was shocking, his encounters too were legendary. Using these 80 years that way, he finally began to feel the entrance of the 6th level's own world. Of course, it was just the entrance. Every level's power was vastly different. Luo Feng's Blade World could only be maintained for a few seconds now. It was the most basic stage of forming this 6th level. In theory, the Rainstorm picture, when one reached a certain level of comprehension, only then would he be able to unleash Blade World. Luo Feng's comprehension of the Rainstorm picture was barely even beginning. The March 1st levels of the Heavenly Bridge reflects the Raindrop picture. The 4th to 6th levels reflected the Drizzle picture. The 7th to 9th levels reflect the Rainstorm picture. Luo Feng frowned. This is a rough gauge. I've comprehended the first 36 wonders. Since my comprehension is 10 times stronger than a normal comprehension of the Drizzle picture, that's why I can force out the Blade World. However, I can only maintain it for a few seconds. I estimate that I still cannot pass the 7th level of the Heavenly Bridge. I have to get accustomed to it and maintain for longer periods of time. Luo Feng pondered. And even though I've comprehended the first 36 wonders, studying the Rainstorm picture would still be extremely difficult. However, with little bits, I think it'll be pretty fast. If one's basics were solid, the comprehension would be faster. Luo Feng's basics were incredibly solid. Studying the Rainstorm picture requires the Time-Space Scribbles 3rd volume. I should buy it now. Luo Feng understood the theory of a sharp blade increasing one's efficiency. He immediately rushed out of the training grounds. He flew into his study. Sitting before the desk, he opened his laptop and swiftly opened the treasure trove, preparing to buy the manual. However, he was shocked as he saw his points below. Points, 74,660. Only over 70k points? Buying the 3rd volume of Time-Space Scribbles requires 100k points. Luo Feng was stunned.